Okay, it's 6:04, we're gonna start the open session of our meeting with the pledge and Mr. Morris. Remain standing for the invocation.
Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray.
Father, we thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight, and we pray that we do the work on the council here, that we do it in a way that honors us and gives us the privilege. Lord, the last meeting we prayed about the college situation as we miss my colleague David out of the hospital. And so, his services are coming up, and we just mourn his loss. And all the years that we worked together at the school district, he was living. Didn't make it this time, that's good to see. And we just pray that you bless his family. We encourage them, encourage the hope they'll find you with that. And pray all this in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Okay, next is the certification of posting the agenda of our city clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The agenda was posted on Friday, May 8th.
Thank you. Mr. Walker, any announcements from closing?
There's one closed session announcement. There's a motion by Councilperson Goodsoe, seconded by Councilman Ramirez on a 4-0 unanimous vote to reject the claim of Justin Thompson.
Thank you. Presentations, so we have, the San Diego State, what's coming up at San Diego State, and so we'll have our Dean Nunez come up. Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the council. I'm Dr. Gina Nunez Cherry, and I'm a graduate of Whitesville High School, so for me it's an opportunity to come back home and come share with you what we're doing at San Diego State University. We serve the entire valley. Our key priority is to provide opportunities for the students in the entire valley so that we don't experience a consistent brain drain. A lot of our students leave hoping to find opportunities and degrees and opportunities elsewhere, but they hardly ever come back. So I'm getting a lot of requests from folks to bring my kids back, great opportunities for my grandkids don't have to leave. And so I came to give you an update of what we're working on. Thank you. So we've been in the Imperial Valley since 1959. We're the only four-year university. And in the Imperial Valley, we collaborate closely with Imperial Valley College. SDSU started almost as a teacher's college, primarily preparing most of our teachers in the Imperial Valley, but we have since expanded. When I came, we were about 800 in our student population. Now we're about 1,300. So now we have got that size from 1,000 students to 1,300. We're accredited. Several of our programs are accredited to their state boards. Nursing is accredited, social work is accredited, education is accredited. So that means we have different guidelines and expectations that we need to meet state standards. SDSU is now part of a Research One institution. That means we went from just being like a teacher's college or providing workforce training to now closing over $250 million in research money. So we are producing research that goes back into the community, goes back to industry, to health services, to nursing. We're only about 5% of all universities in the United States with a research one designation. So we have 12 degrees and we're adding 2 new degrees this August. We have criminal justice, English history, liberal studies, which is the pathway to a teaching credential. We have mathematics, nursing, psychology, public administration, public health with an emphasis in environmental health, social science degree, chemistry, and electrical engineering are the 2 degrees we're adding this August. And those 2 degrees are going to be housed in the Raleigh campus. So if we have 2 sites, we have a flexible site and a Raleigh site. And in Raleigh, we have nursing, public health, chemistry, and electrical engineering. The Division of Education has different teaching credentials, multi-subject teaching credentials. And we also have 3 graduate degrees. We have a master's in social work, a master's in nursing leadership, and a master's in homeland security. So we're always recruiting law enforcement officers who want to pursue a master's in homeland security as a way of moving up in ranks in law enforcement. We have fairly accessible, affordable education compared to other universities. So an undergraduate full-time for their tuition is about $8,622, which is fairly decent compared to other CSUs and other UCs. We also have a teaching credential. We have part-time programs and full-time programs, and we also have graduate programs. We are going to be opening our new dorms. These are the first dorms of their kind in the Imperial Valley. So these will be located on the Calexico campus. We got funding for the dorms. It took us a while to put it together. We got $12 million, and with the cost of living, they told us, now you're short $5 million, go back and get $5 million. That's not an easy task. We collaborated with IBC, approached our state representatives. So IBC came up with half, we came up with the other half. This is a real, it's a collaboration with Imperial Valley Community College and San Diego State. We hope to have 40 beds for IBC students and 40 beds for SDSU students so that we can then transfer the students to our campus. We have a lot of student support services that we didn't have in the past. So if you're an alum, you're like, well, that didn't happen. They didn't have these services when I was there. Now we have a food pantry. We have counseling and psychological services. We have intramural sports. Now we have a new space that's opening up for students to also engage in recreation, esports, or hang out, or do podcasts. So a creative space for students to do creative projects. This is really important for us because engaged students are more likely to stay in school. You don't engage them, they get bored, they burn out, and they're like, I'm out, it's not for me. And if we can get them on campus and get them involved in student organizations, they can build a lot of those human skills, the soft skills, the network opportunities for them to support each other as they go through their school and then as they navigate and negotiate careers. This is what our new sciences and engineering laboratories look like. And we call them laboratories. There are no laboratories like these in the entire Imperial Valley. So this was an $80 million investment by our state governor. And we got a lot of support from our elected officials who went and advocated for the Imperial Valley to get this. The first floor of the building is going to be dedicated to teaching chemistry and electrical engineering in laboratory settings, in real life laboratory settings using industry level equipment. The second floor is for our private-public partnerships, to do research, to bring in industry and say, what kind of research do you want to do here? In the past, industry had to send out its materials to get them tested. Now we will have the capacity to do a lot of the testing of soil samples, of sludge, of air samples in-house. So those are jobs that we hope to attract to the valley with partnerships with industry. We have 3 major industry partners, but I also want to point out that chemistry is a degree that can roll into veterinary sciences, agriculture. Chemistry is really important. Understanding chemicals and how they're tied to agriculture are really important. So electrical engineering is really important for us to address battery production, or what do we do with lithium after it's extracted? How do we transform that with value-added jobs and opportunities? These are innovative, state-of-the-art research spaces. We actually have better labs than they do in San Diego. We have our colleagues come and say, well, we all have a nicer setup. So there's already, people comparing, no matter what you do, people are going to compare what you do. But this is really important that we prepare our students for the industries in the region that are looking to hire local workforce. At this moment, we hear from partners that our students are not prepared for the local workforce. And that's what we're trying to do, prepare them so that they can actually be able to get employed and stay in the valley with good paying careers. Okay, that's what I have, and now I wonder if you have any other questions for me. But I think it's important, why come to Holtville? Because you send us your students, because we work with your teachers and your counselors, because we ask that you trust that if they come here, they don't have to leave. Housing is really expensive in San Diego or in other large cities like Santa Barbara or Berkeley. But if we can educate our students locally, we can hopefully retain and grow our own workforce. And you can have multi-generational families and have your kids and grandkids here with good paying careers. Any questions that you might have?
Thank you. Any questions from the council? That's graduate with that teacher college. Teacher for 27 years in Holtville. I'm happy for the experience. I was up at the new campus recently, saw you at the IUDC event that was up there. Those are amazing. Got that, drive that, research that. It's gonna be awesome. And it just means the future bright for Westfield County, San Diego State, for the unique part of it. So thank you.
Thank you.
It was great.
Well, Mike, we always welcome our alumni, come back and get to talk or talk to our new generation, you know. A lot of people are wondering what careers they might want to go into. Getting to hear from local alumni, how are you doing? You're law enforcement, we produce a lot of people in public service, public administration as a group, criminal justice. So I'm always looking for alumni, come back, you know, mentor students, give them a shout out. Every year, I think these last 2 years, we've graduated the largest cohorts of teachers going into the program. We're very proud.
I have a question. I'm also an Aztec.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I did go to the San Diego campus. Fortunately or unfortunately, however you want to see it. But one of the big things, I mean, like you said, a lot of the majors that are now currently offered were not offered 20 years ago. But I'm interested in learning more about your housing. So that's going to open this upcoming fall. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, so we'll
Okay.
be ready for.
And for those of us who have children that are going to be entering college soon, what is the housing requirement? So do they have to go there as freshmen, or is it only for low-income families? What does that look like?
So we're looking for Pell eligible students who need homes, right? So right now IBC has shelter, they have little homes for students experiencing homelessness. For us, one of the biggest challenges is transportation. In the valley, it's really costly for students from the north to get down to the south, right? So we want to be able to house students. If they get on a wait list and they tell us they're interested, about 73% of our students are Pell eligible, that means they get financial aid. So we hope that they'll be able to qualify for housing as well. In San Diego State, the Mesa campus, our freshmen are asked to live on campus because there's research that indicates that if you live on campus, you're more likely to stay connected, get connected to services and support, and you're more likely to stay matriculated. We are not forcing people to live on campus. We're offering this as an opportunity that's never existed because housing is expensive in California. And a lot of students, they say, I can't afford to be here and there, and I live on campus. We're also recruiting students from, West Point. And for them, it's a huge commute. It's a huge commute. It's an economic hardship for their families. So if we can keep them on campus, we keep them engaged. They go to class, they go to sleep, they go to work. We just had the first transportation hub open today in Calexico. So I'm working with ICTC as a transportation partner, and we're working to connect Calexico to IBC to Guam. Right? And then we also have microtransit, so it's like a local Uber that's subsidized. So transportation is the biggest challenge for us students. So I think the students with the greatest transportation burden will probably also be considered.
Now, and you said it's 40, is it 40 units or for
40 beds
students?
for SDSU students, 40 beds for IBC students. And IBC has over 8,000 students, so I'm sure they're going to fill their quota faster than we are.
Good to know. Well, thanks for presenting today. It's pretty good information.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right,
What's
well, we
what's your
welcome.
intramural sports? What sports do you provide?
Oh, they already have volleyball, they have different sports, whatever students want to play, and then IBC is already challenging us. We want you to play IBC and come play with us. So a lot of our students, a lot of our students work during the day and they take night classes. So our campus is big, between 4 to 10 p.m. That's why we have a lot of our students because it's talking about a working class community. Our students work during the day, they go to school at night. Now we're recruiting more freshmen. So we have about 103 new freshmen coming in, and we can graduate students faster than in San Diego. So we get them in and we get them out. So our students report having a strong sense of belonging. They get in, they take their classes, and they're out. So we're graduating students that are faster than in San Diego. And so we can get them involved. They get in, they get out, they have some recreation.
So what if there was like a major that you didn't offer here, and for those, because there are so many students here that are financially burdened, could they do their general ed their first 2 years with you guys and then like do online courses?
They can bounce to San Diego. So you have to have a good GPA. So San Diego State had over 211,000 applicants. We're now one of the most competitive schools to get into. believe it or not, and we're still a CSU, we're still very affordable compared to big universities or private universities. So students, we've had students like Andrea, for example, she studied her general ed with us in San Diego State, had a strong GPA, and then got into business school. The business school is probably the most impacted school at San Diego State. But if you have a good GPA, we can help you get there. But you're more likely to accept an SDSU IB student than a student from the
I'm trying to add a little something. It's been a while, but I was trying to stay on the community part, and so I took some classes and then campus to study. And right into I
And we have good track record. We are graduating our first cohort of public health students. And they start with 4, 8 students, now they're graduating, and now first year we have 18 public health students coming in.
That's amazing. I'm actually a public health major, so that's great to hear.
We're excited to see them graduate. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we have the Poppy Month, May 26th, so is.
Pop it up.
Okay, I think you're going to give us a proclamation that you all have read about. I here I want to just share a little bit about it. Thanks for letting us come and share our hobbies because our Poppy Month is a national holiday. Your red crepe paper poppy is a replica of the Flanders poppy that was originally adopted in 1921 as a memorial flower for the American Legion and the American Legion Auxiliary. Through the years, it's become the symbol of the dead, their memorial flower. This red crepe paper poppy is made handmade by hospitalized veterans of the World War and Korean War, Veteran War, Korea, and Panama conflicts in the Persian Gulf War. It's made of paper to give the veterans amount of work and income. In many cases, the income derived from this source constitutes the only income of a hospitalized veteran. So every year, volunteer workers, members of American Legion Auxiliary, which we are, we offer these poppies to the public to be worn on Memorial Day so they can pay tribute to the National Honor War Dead. All of our contributions made by the public are used by the American Legion Auxiliary exclusively for the welfare of the Navy veteran and their families throughout the state of California. So honor the dead and the living by wearing your paper poppy now and on Memorial Day. And on National Day is the 22nd. We'll be gather at 7 o'clock in the morning, getting donations from cars and different donations like that. So we appreciate it, every donation.
You're gonna be in the streets.
In the streets,
Yeah.
we'll be careful.
Yeah, I remember last year what you did, so.
We appreciated that,
Nice. So
What
let
day
me,
is that again? I'm sorry, and what day are you guys doing that? 22nd.
It's on Friday, May 22nd at 7 o'clock in the morning, up until about 10. Yeah, right here. Yeah,
So
it's
on
warm.
your way over to training.
there you go.
Oh, if I'm late,
Oh, yeah.
that's why.
So I have a poppy corsage for, are you gonna read
I'm gonna read.
the letter? Okay.
So I'll start now. So, City of Holtville, Mayor's proclamation, Poppy Month, May 2026. Whereas America is the land of freedom, preserved and protected, ruling and free by citizens, soldiers, and whereas millions who have answered the call to arms have died on the field of battle. And whereas the nation at peace must be reminded of the price of war and the death goes to those who have died in war. And whereas the red poppy designated as a symbol of the sacrifices of lives in all wars. And whereas the American Legion Auxiliary has pledged to remind Americans annually of his death through the distribution of the memorial flower. And now, therefore, be resolved, authorized that I, Mayor Mike Pacheco, and the City Council of the City of Holtville do hereby proclaim May 26th as Poppy Month and ask that all citizens pay tribute to those who make the ultimate sacrifice in the name of the freedom by wearing the memorial poppy. And when that's here for, I need you to accept my hand this on the 11th day of May 2026. So, council can join us up to the podium. photo.
Take care.
Thank you very much. I will.
Did you want to come home yet?
You guys can take that later.
Puppy.
Coffee needs a little
Ah, yes. Another.
He had his hands.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, because you didn't,
Oh, what?
Take care. Good seeing you.
Have a nice evening.
Okay, next item is the public comment. So the public may address the city council on any item that does not appear on this agenda. For this meeting, and to be the city council. No? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Bear with me, I'm bringing my reading glasses. George, I like George. I mean, George is very fast. Oh, yeah, John Lennon type. That's right. So the items on the consent agenda are to be approved without comment. Should any council member or member of the public wish to discuss any item, they may request that the item be removed from the consent and placed on the new business agenda. So we have two items: approval of the minutes from the regular meeting of Monday, April 27, 26, and current demands number 49280 through 49315. Council, what's your?
Well, I didn't see a $600 link this time, so I'm gonna move to approve as is.
We have a motion. We have a second.
I'll second.
And we have a second. Roll call.
Mike Goodsill,
Yes.
John Munger is absent. Mary Anderson,
Yes.
Vanessa Ramirez,
Yes.
and Mike Pacheco.
Yes. Okay, the next is the reports of officers, commissions, committees, and committees. So we'll start with our city clerk.
I bet.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I attended an IVRMA meeting a couple weeks back, and they recently passed the budget, and we just talked about a lot of different updates on all the good things on waste that we need to keep up with. So I try to keep up with that with them. And then next week on the 21st, we have our farmers market. And nothing else from me.
Thank you. Mr. Wells?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just got back last week from the SCAG annual conference up in Palm Desert. Most of you all were there. Always a good time to have conversations in the hallways and those kind of things. There were a couple good sessions, but talking to colleagues and talking about how things are going is really
really a good thing for us. I also think, kind of we're in this era where we're trying to get, as many dollars in the whole bill as possible, waving the flag of, hey, we're here and we're always here, keeps us top of mind with those folks. So glad we do that. This morning I attended the Calexico Intermodal Transportation Center ribbon cutting, so the beautiful new facility in Calexico, for all modes of transport, mainly the buses that will take them around town, and to IBC and STSU and whatnot. So good event, saw a lot of those same folks from last week, and glad to be a part of it. That's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Walker?
Nothing tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Reyes?
Well, I am just coming back from Mother's Day weekend. Happy Mother's Day, belated Mother's Day to all of our staff and mamas all across Holtville. Yeah, so that was fun. Got to spend time with family. But aside from that, I also did attend the SCAG meeting. It was my first one. Went up for the day, had some great entertainment at the end of the night. Also did attend, I don't remember if I talked about this, but we went to the IAB tour, the Colorado River tour about 2 weeks ago. Learned a lot on our trip over to Pilot Knob, the Drill Down, the Drill Down. Lots of good information. Tomorrow I will be doing IAB again for the fish farm. So lots going on at IAB. Thankful for all the work that they do with them.
Mr. Anderson?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I didn't have a lot the last couple of weeks. I did do my ILG training, get ready for our workshop next week, right? Next Friday? So I had my one-on-one with them. That was today. And then I would just like to remind everyone about Wednesday at 9 a.m., the Joan Jenks bench dedication at the apartments there off of, what is that, 8th Street? So, yeah, please attend. We put in a lot of time with the housing authority, and we're not honored with that bench dedication, and she was supposed to be there.
Where's she coming from again? Do you know?
I do not know that. I want to say Oregon, but don't quote me.
Well, Murray said.
Yeah,
Yeah. Thank you.
but that's about it.
Good job.
I remember I was on that Colorado River trip. I did enjoy it. One of my homes. I got 2 hats on the weekend. One that covers more like ears and the other. And one remote. I also worked at the SCAG event. The city manager didn't share the screen, but I think you all know that his band performed admirably. I performed admirably in the dance for Leonard Skinner. In the middle of the room.
Party of one?
Yeah,
Party of one.
Sounds like nobody's watching.
We did, but Anthony was watching.
I certainly did not. Family affair. I had just went back up to the hotel room to have some cutthroat baseball. I was having a tough day. And I told Laura, we're gonna dance to Skinner at least, right? And so I come back into the building from the outside and I hear it playing Skinner. You know, they usually play 3 steps. So I come running through the room and runs right out on the head for us and Laura, I'm gonna do it alone if I have to. And got out, wiggled a little bit and she joined me at one point. I just acted a fool. That was the moment that I did get notice from SCAG just today that they added you to the legislative communication and members committee. So I wanted to, but that one I can zoom in on. So Bill and I will show up over there at ICTC offices and just zoom in on person. They did get to be a pretty long road all the way up there once a month. Your wife did it for many years.
Love that.
And I'll follow through. I'm certain that we are on the map. They do know where we're at. They do that. We had such a great contingent there from Imperial County.
Yeah.
We got that award for the Calexico East for the sustainability award. And we had a lot of us on the stage for that. getting a night away with the big bad wolf fan. It was a home field advantage for the county on that thing. So, that's always good. Vanessa was able to get up. She did a whirlwind bird to come up to us. Came in and made it
It was a fun trip. There and back.
That's all.
Thank you. Mr. George?
Was able to attend the inaugural Imperial Valley Rotary Club's golf tournament fundraiser. It's very successful, 29 teams played. And within the tournament, each club had to designate a Rotary Club team. And that had to be a Rotary Club member, spouse, or child, you had to be on that team. El Central won with a 58, Holtville got second with a 59. So next year we'll have to, and we bought with Rotary, you start the meeting with a bell and close with a bell. So we bought a bell and it will have El Central Rotary engraved in it, and we'll keep it for a year, and it'll go to every club as every year goes to win. Hopefully something we started that for the first time was pretty well successful.
That's a ball drop.
The ball drop, first place was a restaurant in Calexico. I wish I had his name, but he donated a lot of gifts for the raffle. He won first. Second place was won by Holtville Rotarian, Derek Kwan, judge. And third place was another Calexico Rotarian. So we had a ball drop, which was well attended. And like we tried to do some stuff to make people that come to the event that weren't playing golf. So after the golf, we had a lunch, and then we had the ball drop. So we tried to get people that didn't like to play golf to be able to at least come and participate in some functions. Hopefully every year we just get better.
Sounds like a good event. Did
It
you
was.
golf?
Yes.
Okay, good. Did you hit him straight?
You know what? My knee was hurting so bad, I probably played the best round of golf I've ever played. But of course, it was best ball. I happened to be on the team for the Holtville Rotary, so probably if it had been somebody else, Holtville would have won it. But we thought we'd give El Central a shot at it. We were being polite. Holtville was always polite.
Yeah. That's right. Thank you, George. Police Chief, Mr. Martinez.
Good evening, everyone. I'll start thanking you guys for last meeting, proclamation for dispatchers. We really appreciated that. So thanks for that. Stats, we had a total of 310 calls for the month of April, 36 traffic stops, 11 citations, 4 traffic collisions. We did get one DUI. Thirdly, we had 2 reports, 3 domestics, 2 vandalism, and 5 curb stones. Our deputies have been tagging several cars that have been sitting within 72 hours. They did tag for, they did tow with 2 vehicles last month. For the most part, they usually move them right away. We didn't know that. Unless you guys have any questions.
I was reading a report and you had a, what was it? A Captain
America.
Yeah, show up at your plane.
I took $40 million from them. Yes. That one was an interesting.
And it wasn't Roy?
No. No. I saw the.
Captain America and the Punisher, right?
I don't know who the Punisher is.
Yeah.
It's also one of those, Captain, something like Captain America.
So he's both?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Hi.
That was an interesting one.
Did they find this thing, we find this $40 million?
Chief, I saw, I was sent a video on the KYMA about some stuff happening at the schools. Could you give us an update?
Yes, so almost a 10, 11-year-old took a fake plastic gun to the school, showed it off. Teacher got it right away, gave it to the principal, who notified us the following day. The report was taken care of, and the school was taken care of. With us. But we're not getting those
Good, yeah. And then the other question I had, I did read your report, but I noticed that on some of them you put like the street, cross streets or whatever. How do you determine when you put cross streets or not? Like the stolen vehicle, I was kind of wondering. That was at.
That one was right next to, Spanish Grove,
Okay,
the parks. And then you guys mentioned them for that, physical exercise, each time where it's like,
sometimes, yeah, okay.
This is not, as well as talking, this is,
it's started, just for today. That's what was corrections, and this week is.
Friday, police officers. National.
That's it.
National, yeah, national.
Yeah, they did
Thank
that.
For your service, obviously, this is one for that mention.
thank you, Mr. Martinez.
Thank
We
you.
were good on the stolen vehicles, that was the only one.
Yeah.
So I know how Central and, election have been arresting several. And when, unfortunately,
Thank you. Okay, Supervisor Chen.
Thank you, Commissioner. Nothing to update besides maybe some personal update. I'm not sure if you here already is aware of, the other staff members know, but
We're gonna flip this table.
this will be my second to last council meeting. My last day will be June 5th. Well, I mean, it is bittersweet because it is a good thing, but it's also a sad thing. So Valley is always my home and will always be my home, but
You'll be back to the Carolina.
yes, Holtville definitely holds a very special place in my heart after this last year and a half. It's been really nice being here.
And when you ask where you're going?
I will be moving to San Jose.
San Jose.
Do you know the way
To San Jose?
I what is that?
Yes, it's a song.
Yeah.
She's also very young.
I don't know.
You know how.
Okay.
Away to San Jose. I've been away so long.
Yeah, my plan is taking me to San Jose. It's, I came down to be with my family and I sort of spent time with my family and things changed along the way and happened in my life along the way. Thank you.
Well, we wish you the best. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Come back for our special events.
I will.
Come back on July.
I'm back. My family
July 3rd.
here, so yeah.
Sounds good. Cynthia.
Wow.
Yeah. You don't give us any more sad news.
Council members. We've been working with Sunset Rose, and we're getting closer to the loan documents for this appropriation agreement for their gap funding to close out their construction on that first phase. We had a preliminary meeting with the Public Works Department tonight to discuss some potential annexations so that we can satisfy some of the funding that we've received or will be receiving from now until. So that will be forthcoming as they continue to work through the details of the area that needs to be annexed. So that'll be within the next, hopefully, couple of weeks. And that's all we have. I did attend the Dancing with the Stars, and I saw Mr. Pacheco there supporting one of your local celebrities, Mr. Ronnie Langby.
You supported that?
Well, he supported IBROP, he supported IBROP.
How did that look? Just a general.
He had the greatest interest, right?
That's what I heard.
I mean, that guy, I gotta give it to Ronnie, he does.
And he did raise the most, he sold 18 tables, so it was a great fundraiser for IBROP. Definitely, they're, has a great interest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the video.
Only Ronnie could do that. Or have the nerve to do that.
We'll have to see this.
Thank Thank you, Cynthia. Okay, so moving on, unfinished business, we have none. On new business, we have one item to report.
Would you like to show you guys what you've done? That's all.
Let's see, I've been to everything this guy says. So, Skag, this morning we were at the ribbon cutting at the ICTC. Yeah, Cynthia, thank you for reminding me. I did attend the Dancing with the Stars event, and then I did host these two council people for the tour that,
There is a photo of us together, we're not discussing any council.
Evidence.
So they say, there's a photo.
No, others.
Yeah. Anyway, new business. We have one item. It's discussion related action to adopt resolution 2612, rejecting all bids for the Alamo River Special Bridge Improvement Projects, authorizing immediate advertisement with a reduced scope award. Cynthia.
Thank you, Mayor. The city of Holtville received grant funding from the California Natural Resources Agency in the amount of $1,462 million. $1 million for the pre-construction including the design of the project. The project did get designed, this council approved the project go to bid, and we did advertise the program, the construction plan, we bid. We advertised for bid, and we did receive two proposals. Both proposals were significantly above the amount of money that we had available. The lowest bidder was Pyramid Construction, and they came in at $2,270,370. I can't read numbers apparently, but 2.237. How do you say that? 2,307,000. Yeah, 2,406.85. That left a budget shortfall of 768. I can't read numbers. $768,406.85.
Can I ask a question there? How is that 700,000? If we have 1.9 and this was 2.3?
So the
Design.
the
Yeah,
design,
official design.
there's $249,000 for design, and that totals that $1.9 million that we have available. And that 9,000 of that 249 was in time. And the estimated without contingency was already at $1.8 million. So we kind of knew that there might be a shortfall in funding, but we weren't anticipating that it was going to be such a large shortfall.
What I noticed was the difference between the two bids or the two proposals.
Yeah.
They're pretty close. Wait.
Yes, there was the element of the structural repairs was something that came into play where the number of respondents or bidders, and then there was some hesitancy with the repair of the structural of the bridge. So the options are that we reject the proposals, that we accept the lowest bidder, or that we reject and we rebid the project, eliminating or reducing scope and coordination with the grant funding agency. There is a cost for reducing the project scope and estimating out the cost of removing line items and working with the agency. So it does require engineering to look at each line item and estimate out the cost of what it would cost to reduce per line item of $10,000. The whole did help with the bidding support and was had a $12,000 budget to do the bidding support, but the additional work does come with a $10,000 estimate or the $10,000 amount that's still in work for them to bring work for them. So we recommend that the bids be rejected and adopt resolution 2026-12
So just real quick, just so you get the brass tacks here. The project included reconstruction of the bridge, uh, putting a deck that across there for traversing the bridge, uh, pedestrian, bicycle, that kind of thing. And then some kind of, foliage stuff and trees and bushes and that kind of stuff. The folks that gave us the money, they're most concerned about the trees, the bushes, the foliage and stuff. So we have to include that. The main goal is to reconstruct the bridge. So what we're gonna do is eliminate the deck, um, and figure out what, by scaling that off, we do feel that we might be able to get some, active transportation funding or some other sort of, grant funding later on to do the deck. We're not giving up on it. We're just, for this particular project, by stripping that off, we're hoping that we can make it affordable.
Would be happy with the escalation of pricing, and I don't anticipate that construction costs are gonna reduce anytime soon, especially with macro, political.
So Cynthia, you said, so I understand it correctly, so it's gonna cost us 10,000 to start reducing the scope of work,
So that an engineer with the whole group,
and it's gonna go through the whole group?
the whole group, correct. So the engineer can begin looking at each line item, working with the designer and confirming the project designer confirming exactly what can be reduced and what can be phased and the cost for it.
So it's 12,000 to do it and 10,000 to redo it.
For the bidding services was 12,000. But we've already got significant amount of work into, you can't just say we're stripping off the deck. It's intrinsic to the whole thing because they were gonna build the deck as part of the reconstruction. So now you gotta take the deck off. By taking that off, what part of the reconstruction is affected by that and whatever. So they gotta go back to the engineer and figure it.
We have done a lot of preliminary work that's not as engineer charged, we won't be charged, but to make it official and get true values of what it's gonna cost per line item. It does have a cost of that, $10,000.
I guess it's positive. The first day of staff event, I went early and I joined some others that they rewrote the CD link, the Coachella Valley link, which is bicycles, cars, to various Coachella Valley cities. There's 2 cities in the Walls and National Rise, so this is, it was very eye-opening. It's nice. So we're talking with ICTC after going, there's some others from ICTC on this event that I went to. We're back in the Hill Valley. And they were he's looking part, I think, from BT or from this bridge to 111, so we can get on the bike path for 111. Right? And then other places, using some IID properties where we have underground canals and make that part of their income stuff. There's some challenges on those properties as far as cooking food and stuff. That definitely is a challenge. But anyway, they're gonna pursue that. And so they need that active transportation funds to make that happen, as well as other funding sources. Tom from the Coachella Valley CVAC, Association of Governments, he can help us pursue those same funding sources that they pursue to create that. And so there's hope. But it would be going after that. It's something less than what we want, but we're looking for. We take this action.
And as Mike mentioned, I'm really excited about presenting this information that is in regards to the active transportation program, which has, it's in its current 8th funding cycle. So I'm just going to present the available sites that are eligible for that funding. So those are one of those sites is requested. And I know that the city's priority is to make that entryway look presentable and that bridges is not helping meet that goal of making that entryway presentable. But the CRA funding source, we have to meet in the middle with something. Their priority is the foliage, they call it a bosque, a bosque, so all the landscaping. So meeting them in the middle with fixing the element that we see as a priority, which is the aesthetics of it, and their priority, which is the landscaping.
I was just thinking here, you know, IID has that, what they call that grant that's floating around. They haven't finished the guidelines or anything yet, but they have that grant that the cities can apply for through. Yeah, so I don't know if we could talk.
So they haven't released the guidelines yet, but we definitely have that one in the pipeline as well.
Okay.
So the city of Park is Project Rose, which is for the library,
Right.
and as soon as the guidelines become Project Flow.
There's water underneath that bridge, right?
There's water flowing underneath the bridge, certainly. And bridges is something.
All right, so you have that on the radar, but
As soon as the guidelines are released, we certainly have that. And there's plenty of opportunity with what Mike was mentioning, with right past the trestle bridge. And that's why the trestle bridge is part of that connectivity component. Just past where the bridge ends in Coos County, that's part of an Alamo River Trail, and it goes past casinos, and then so it's done in phases because it's possible to get these amenities and recreational opportunities for our residents and employees. Like Sandy was mentioning earlier, it's not just the housing, it's amenities that young people that want to come back into the county, they look for amenities, not just amenities.
thank you, Cynthia.
Do you think we'll just get rid of the
You know, that's a great factor, you know.
Council?
I move for approval to take these three actions, rejecting the bids, operations, rewards, and letting the service contract as outlined in this resolution.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second.
Mike Goodsell,
Yes.
John Munger is absent. Murray Anderson,
Yes.
Vanessa Ramirez,
Yes.
and Mike Pacheco.
Yes. Okay, so we'll move down to information only. We have 3 items. The first one is regarding the 2020 transportation program. Cycle application.
The city, the state of California Public Transportation Commission has its 8th funding cycle available for the active transportation program. I'm just going to go very quickly and very briefly with what the active transportation program is and present a couple of available sites that would be eligible within the city of Holtville, and call to action the residents of Holtville to participate in getting their input on what they see those as other sites that are available as part of these. So, active transportation, ATP was initiated with legislation 2013. Is for the 8 funding cycle, there is $619 million available statewide. We are looking to apply for the statewide funding, but there is a portion of funding that automatically goes to Imperial County. So our strategy is to apply for the statewide competitive grant program, but also the submit applications are phased at a smaller amount so that we can hopefully be competitive at the state and at the local level. The ICPC allocation. Next slide. So there's the guideline for release, the for project with the deadline of June 22nd, and then program adoption in December of 2026. Next slide. The scoring criteria for the application is disadvantage benefits for disadvantaged communities. A goal of it is that we are able to identify a need, public safety, and the piece that we're completing right now is introducing the prevention projects and conducting public outreach activities. It's 10 points, but we are and next slide. Projects that are eligible for funding are
It's glitching out.
eligible. We have infrastructure projects, planning projects, non-infrastructure projects, in combination of infrastructure, non-infrastructure projects. We are looking to apply for a small infrastructure project, which the funding is a minimum of $250,000 up to $2.5 million. The city, the Imperial County Transportation Commission prepared an active transportation plan. It included the city of Holtville at the time when the plan was completed. The city was identified to have 2.1 miles of basic sidewalks, and this city then participated with ICPC to identify and prioritize the projects and missing sidewalks or gaps in sidewalks. And the whole goal of the active transportation program is to encourage safe routes to school, to create accessible routes for vulnerable populations, and encourage walking and riding bicycles. So out of those, next slide. So, you get a higher score when you apply for programs, or your application that has programs that are listed in your active transportation score generally higher. And we list out the proximity to schools, vulnerable populations, disadvantaged communities, and future infrastructure that it will support. And the next one. So we use the map of proposed bicycle lanes for the city of Holtville that was presented, or that is part of the so we use the map to identify the sites that we've selected so far. This map is part of the Zero County Transportation Active Transportation Plan. And by being this plan, the city identified bicycle routes. And the next slide. Based on that active transportation plan, we identify continuation.
One more back.
This is 10.
Eligible sites, we were looking at the section between 9 and Underwood within city limits, on Cedar Avenue. And that one, we could make the case with it. It needs a curb site. Curb better sidewalk on Cedar. The only issue with that one is that the city limits are right in the middle of So it does connect to the larger improvements that have been done on 9th Street, and we're able to make the case where it connects down to the schools. The next proposed site is the site east of Holt down to the people on 9th Street. And you would face that one, and that would be sidewalk. And we can make the case for continuing the connection with the improvement on 9th Street. And then I'll show you guys the conditions also of the pictures so that you can see them in person. Or what the conditions currently are. The next site that we talked about is the phase development of the Trestle Bridge. And so you can see the existing conditions of the damage and the potential trails. And then the next slide shows the design trail. So you can see the little bit of the bottom is a proposed trail, and then the straight line at the top is where the bridge is. So that is a piece that we'll be working with the engineer to determine what we can build with the existing money and what would be included in this next funding phase. The next slide also shows so they should here.
Yes, that's the thing. People hands on it, but it's going to something that are going on. But we want to keep this kind of in the zeitgeist so that people are talking about it and whatnot. And if any suggestions come up, if we had any public here that wanted to discuss this, I just want to keep it on there. I know George Morris is very excited to have the big event coming in.
I see someone's going to be on a third.
Yeah, because we're able to get fireworks now on the 3rd. So, and I'm talking to various Rotarians and whatnot about trying to help sponsor the fireworks show and that kind of stuff. So, Intercare might want to.
You want to Intercare to sponsor the fireworks.
I can see Murray being a big advocate. So, but anyway, like I say, let's just keep this on the agenda, and if it sparks any discussion, if y'all have anything to add to it. Unintended, exactly. If y'all have anything to input, we'll have it on here from here on. So, all right.
Good idea. Keep it rolling.
Okay.
Okay, our last item under information is regarding the 2026-27 budget. And this is
Yeah, so kind of a joint effort between Nick and I. We're looking at the enterprise first, so you have a copy of it. I see some dates that might need to be fixed, but ignore that, it'll be fixed. This is just kind of the first look at the budget, and then next meeting we'll do general fund, and then after that we'll probably be able to adopt. But, just kind of touching on a couple of little details, and then mainly if you have questions, you can bring them back, Nick can also maybe jump in if you have things, but, for water funds, looking like we're proposing a 115,000 net loss, which isn't too much of an increase from last year. Part of that is we're seeing a slight decrease in revenue coming in from water charges, things like that. And then obviously a slight increase in expenses, salaries, and just kind of cost of things.
So last year, I'm sorry, we lost 83,000 with the water fund, and this year's 115.
Well,
So that was what we budgeted for.
that was a
last year.
budget. We're on track to lose about 30 grand. So,
Right.
so yeah.
So, I mean, we budget pretty conservatively, and then from there, right? And then as far as, and there were some like things, like one-time costs, there were some backhoe repair things that were one-time costs, things like that kind of come up. And then for the sewer, we're proposing a 12,000 net income, which is it's a little bit lower than previous years. This year, we are gonna probably take a small hit just because of the loss of income from the truck disposal services, but that was a one-time thing, and moving forward, that's not gonna happen. And then again, price increases over, the state economy.
I think one thing, let me just jump in, when I
Yeah.
was looking at, one of the big things, and we knew this to be the case, and we know it's to be the case going forward, but our biggest expenditure for everything is personnel. And our personnel expenditures account for a good portion of the change. We gave a percent raise to everybody, we're giving another percent, it's 2% and 2%. I'm not advocating against that, I'm just saying that's the paradigm, that's what, there's things that we can control, there's some things that we can kind of look at to sharpen our pencil on or whatever. That's one of the things where, unfortunately, time waits for no man, and we've gone forward and moved forward with salaries, and that has $1 for dollar has impacted our situation. And I'll go back to, I've had it on my city manager report for years, and I still go back to it. We're gonna have to revisit water rates at some point. That's the one that's.
When's the last time we raised water
I
rates?
think 20 years is what I'm understanding.
In 2006, they raised rates, but they phased it in over 4 years. So the last time they took action was 20 years ago, and the last time the water rate raised was 16 years ago. Something, I think that's right. That's off the top of my head, but that's close to being correct. So yeah, it's been a long time.
And that's through a 218 process?
Yep. Yeah, but one of the things we have to do is we have to do a rate study.
Right.
We also have to go through and kind of justify that we need additional funding. I'll be talking to some folks about the rate study. Cynthia might be able to help with that when we get to that point. Actually, we were kind of on a track to do a rate study a while back, and it just didn't happen. So maybe Cynthia will be better at getting that off.
What do you need to do a rate study? Do you need direction from council, or?
Well, yes, and but it's also I wanted to gather kind of an idea of what it was going to cost us and what firms are out there doing it, and kind of gave that directive, and it didn't get accomplished, so that we can bring it to you. But this kind of demonstrates, hey, last year we budgeted an $83,000 loss, and we lost 30. We're probably going to lose 30 grand. This year we're budgeting further loss, and most of it is because of, raising salaries that we're not sharpening that pencil. Chemical costs aren't going down. There's no real avenue to cut costs. So
Well, I don't think there's anything that's been the same rate or same price for 20 years. So I think a rate study's well.
Yeah.
Deserved.
Yeah. Yeah, what we've had a couple of things that have saved our bacon over the years. And one of the things was about 4 years ago, three or 4 years ago, we paid off a bond. And so we had less to pay. And then last year we had two loans with USDA, and one of them phased out last year. So that one went away. So this year's budget's a little less for the payment of that bond. So while our revenue has stayed fairly stable, our costs go up in one place but down in another, and it keeps us on this equilibrium, and it's kept us on this equilibrium. But it's a house of cards at this point, and we don't have any more big savings coming. The other bond is for 40 years, so we're 10, 12 years into a 40-year bond, so that's not going away.
Isn't there like a percentage you have to maintain 120%?
Yeah, and we had heretofore been pretty good at getting there. One of the things is that's before the bond payment. So because our expenses aren't that great, we can meet the 120, then pay the bond, and that puts us into the negative. You see what I'm saying? So technically we've been okay, but overall, we still have to meet all of our obligations, and that's one of those obligations. So, okay, we'll get working on the rate study.
Yeah, Nick, I'll talk to you offline, but I've talked to one company about that in the past, so they're called Water.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you for that.
And, by the way, just
Oh, yeah.
one of the things that we do was we'll bring this time, we'll sharpen the pencil and fix it a little bit too, while next time we'll do the general fund, and then we'll bring it all back, and Shannon will be gone by then, but I'll bring it all back to you in June and say, okay, since then we've tightened the numbers, we've looked at the projections a little better, those numbers might change incrementally, so you'll have another shot at looking at the enterprise fund. That's all I'm saying. So, all right.
And there's also the trash included there. I mean, we're budgeting for $9,000. That's all.
And that is all.
Thank you.
That's it. Sorry.
Staff reports. Nick, you got anything?
Just a million little things that I've been working on. If anybody has any questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
Any questions for Nick?
How's our architect?
Well, I pushed the fire chief to interact with him last week. He said he's got most of his stuff done, but I think there's some, Cynthia can answer it better than I can. She had some.
So a component of the design was the civil design, the sidewalks, platform, grading for the parcel, and that's been completed by Dynamic Engineering. They approved it today, but they confirmed that they're going to have their second plan check review to the city engineer by this Wednesday. The city will review those within the next 2 or 3 weeks, and it's good to go with that. So that it's sent back to Rebuild Architects, and he's going to be able to look at his final project comments at that point. So, assuming that all of the Dynamics design comments, that all of the project comments for the second project are in our friends Dynamic, and we're able to give it the stamp of approval within the next 2 weeks, then we will be able to put this package to make it to your work. I'm estimating that if it's 100% planted comments have been addressed and we'll move forward and give it the approval within the next 4 to 6 weeks. But if the planted comments have not been satisfied, then it might take
Another bite at the apple on the bite.
correct.
I think one of the things, just to remind you guys, or on the front end of this, we asked the architect to use local sub-consultants where possible, and he has. And Dynamics, we've worked with them, we know them, they're good, but he doesn't have a long-term relationship with them, so we've kind of had to get involved and say, hey guys, can you get this done, because Dynamics kind of held them up a little bit to some degree, held up Rubio. That's not all that's held up Rubio, but so we've kind of tried to help assist with smoothing those waters too. But that's a result of kind of how we set this thing up too. So yeah.
The local relationship.
Right.
I'll run into David at the grocery store, so I'll be like, hey, what are our plans? Like,
yeah.
The city's waiting for those plans, and Rubio does not have that ability. So using the local pressure of that. Where are our plans? So it is moving along, and I we will continue to use that peer pressure with Dynamic, local peer pressure with Dynamic to get that, and then once we have those plans completed, we'll apply pressure to Rubio.
Anything else? Well,
I don't think so.
I have something I want to add. Next week is National Public Works Week. I know we don't have anything in our budget to celebrate that, but is there a way we could get them into a proclamation if they wanted to?
I could do too, is we could have a luncheon here too and stuff, but yeah, we could do a proclamation. After
I don't know if they.
I bet you our city clerk could find something good online to do a proclamation next week.
Find like an online one, you mean?
Yeah,
Sure.
find something to.
Sure.
Do we think they would attend?
No.
No.
We can attend.
I ask Charlotte from time to time, you want to come? Absolutely not. So
That's what I figured, but it would be nice to recognize them.
yeah.
So our next meeting is, for this council is.
Tuesday, the day after Memorial Day. Oh, by the way.
You know where I'm going, is to Memorial Day.
Yeah, so, Memorial Day, we always do something, as you guys know, we will do it again this year. We have done zero planning thus far, but I'm thinking about it all last week and this week, and I'll get on the phone tomorrow with the folks that were here, but and get that plan. But if you all are available, make plans to be here the morning of Memorial Day at the flag.
At 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock?
We kind of moved it around a little bit. I can't remember where we settled on. It's, I think it was 8:30 last year. Split the difference. We don't want to get too hot, but it's a lot to ask people to get here kind of too. So, we'll keep you posted. I'll send you an invitation.
yeah, I was gonna ask about that.
Yeah, sorry. You might have to say a few words too, because you're the mayor.
What, so this week, we have the, guest on Wednesday, 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. And then what else was it, on the 12th, and the 29th, some comments on?
So we're gonna start the public comment, accepting public comment from the 12th through the 29th, and then we have, Sunset Rose, an outreach activity on the 20th at 10 a.m. at the community center at Sunset Road, and then, we'll be here at the plaza at the farmer's market on the 21st.
That'll be posted online, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, then, there's no other questions. We're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you. I think Heather and maybe one of them, maybe there's a economy.
Yeah.